Hello, it's Michelle. Welcome back to my channel AI for Real Life, where we're going to explore using AI in all areas of real life. Hopefully we find some interesting topics to explore without using hyper fear, that hopefully can help reduce some of the noise of technology and maybe actually allow us to get back to living real life. So today's topic, this is one that is kind of near and dear to me. I have found it very, very useful in the area of software. A little bit about my story is I kind of graduated from college during a time when there wasn't even internet and the World Wide Web. So that kind of came onto the scene later, and I kind of lived a life where I didn't need a ton of it. But then later in life, I needed to use technology more for my career, just for personal use, and it became pretty overwhelming. So I've really had to kind of learn as I go. In real estate, there's a ton of different tech and apps and things that you kind of had to use, and then you had Zoom put on the scene and during COVID and all of that. So at times it can get very frustrating if there's no one around to ask a question. What software is the best to use and those kind of things. So I've kind of found that AI can help be my little personal assistant in A, trying to find the software to begin with, and then B, if it's something that I've already used or I'm trying to learn it makes it really helpful to have, like, I can snap in a photo and say, I'm stuck. Lord, what do I need to do here? And it's nice that I don't have to bother my husband 100 times a day asking questions. And it may take a little time to filter through it. It's not always perfect, but I've been able to really successfully learn a lot of useful skills and tools when it comes to the area of technology, just by having a little guidance and help at times when I just can't figure it out. So anyway, we'll probably go through many different sources of software that I've actually been able to come across and use. But today I wanted to go through one that I found that was really fun. And I've used it a ton, and I am so glad I found it. Normally, I'm the type of person that really researches and spends a ton of time Googling, looking, what's the best. And again, that's not what I want AI for, or haven't used AI for. I don't want something to tell me what the best is. I need to try to figure out what the best is for me. And what the best is for me and what the best is for you is going to be two completely different things. So what I'm trying to explain as to how to put your prompts in for AI is they need to be personalized and personal based. I used to be able to go to YouTube and, what's the best of this and how do you do this? And it'd take hours upon hours to search and research, read reviews. So now I find if I'm really good with my prompts and I ask, and again, I'm only using ChatGPT right now, I would love to eventually compare the different platforms and see how these all grow and change over time. And they are. I mean, even in the last few months that I've been using it, I've noticed differences with it. But I was looking for, the problem that I was having was that in the past I had used Pinterest for my recipes, all my digital recipes. And it was kind of a great place to go and organize into different categories if you're familiar with it, with the different boards. And it wasn't just recipes, you could do hair ideas or, party ideas, things like that, and really kind of organize people's pins so that you could come back to them. And for recipes, I would get the recipe later. But what I found over the years, it has become so ad orientated that you can't even read the recipes anymore, because ads just continue to pop up, and then they're layered pop up over pop up. And it just got to be so frustrating. And so one day I'm like, I got to figure out a new recipe idea to be able to store. And I really wanted something that would also store some of my old stuff along with my new stuff that would stay kind of digitally forever. So anyway, where I'm going is I want to show you the recipe software that I ended up with, and then how I use it, and then how AI actually helped me find the app, talk through the software. It could, because what I found was actually I wanted something that would work with Windows. It would work with iOS on my all my Apple products, so my iPad, my phone, and I also wanted to be able to not necessarily have to pay a monthly subscription. So I kind of had some detailed instructions for it to help find what I was actually looking for. So I'll walk you through it, and then I also wanted to show you how AI also helped me as I went along. There were some things that I needed to do with it and needed to figure out how to get some things into it. So, and I'll show you how that actually worked and how it kind of made things go quicker and smoother. So anyway, software is a big one. Again, I didn't want AI to just tell me what the best software was. I wanted to come to the conclusion, spend some time researching what actually might be what is good for me by specific prompts, questions, and then really think it through and make a decision on it. But by using AI, it also cut down the quantity of time that I spent researching to a very minimal amount. But I feel like I was able to still do the research like I normally do. So therefore, then it gives me more time to get back to life. Hello, welcome back. We're now going to take a look at my conversation and the work through method that AI and I did to figure out the solution to my problem, which my problem was Pinterest was having way too many pop-ups. That was the software that I had originally used for all my recipes. And I needed something that would save external recipes, like family recipes, as well as the ones that I've collected from Pinterest or anywhere else online. I'm going to store them and organize them in a very organized fashion, and then be able to look at them and use them from either my desktop Windows device as well as my Apple products, my phone and my tablet, and be able to cloud sync as well, and be able to pull from Pinterest, which does a lot of different things to be able to find in one platform. So it took a little time and a little talk through, but I would say within a day I had it figured out. I mean, not that I was sitting out all day, but I think I took a little bit of time for over 2 days to try to talk through the ones to consider. So my initial question was, and it's very bad, I've gotten better, is, hello, is there good software that helps create meal planning menus that will save time in future once menus made and store all ingredients needed? Yeah, I know that was really bad. But AI actually figured out what I was trying to say, and it responded, and it gave me quite a few options it gave me 5 or 6 of them. But then it also, what I liked are these are things to think about, which were ones that I did think about later and then added to it. But it suggested when choosing software, the best ones typically include: they save and organize your recipes, your own and imported; build and reuse meal plans weekly and monthly; automatic shopping lists from planned recipes; diet preferences; sync across devices; and then some include AI suggestions. So off of that, then I started putting, things in and asking more questions, asking about the different platforms. Are certain ones free? Because that kind of was my original goal, was trying to get something for free. And a lot of them had free either to use for so many days or up to so many recipes. So that way then you could kind of play with them. And I think that's what I ended up doing for a little bit, just to see how I liked each one and then decide which one had the best value. Because one I actually liked better the way it worked, but that one was an every year annual renewal fee. So I went with the one that was just a one-time fee, and I've worked out the kinks on the other one and it's just fine. So those were some questions that I asked. But so as you're kind of going back and forth with them and asking questions about each one, it'll start giving you summaries as to why. Let me see if I can find a better summary. So like this particular one, these are the ones that are the summaries that work best for Pinterest. Kind of gives you like which ones kind of work best with it. For some reason, Paprika is not on that one. Must have missed it. And then you can always go back and ask. And sometimes it does miss things. And that's why this is a tool used for, I think, more for collaboration right now. It's not going to be a crystal ball and know exactly everything, but it's a way to gather data pretty darn quickly and then kind of work through the questions. So like here's one that's comparison best choices for Windows plus Pinterest plus meal plans. And it gives a breakdown as to what the differences are between them. And I like those little breakdowns. A lot of times I'll even save them to PDF and then print them if I want to come back to them later or look at them or go Google something later. Or you can get links. It'll send links to you. So we're still continuing to go through all these. Here's some recaps on some of the different ones. So I don't want to keep going through. So anyway, which one I decided to go with was Paprika. So I want to show you a little bit about how all of this, which like I said, it was maybe a couple days of asking the questions, playing with the software, coming back and using it for a little bit, and then making a decision, where normally I would spend hours watching YouTube videos, seeing what people thought, what their opinions were, Googling what's the best, trying to find out, do they have all the answers to these questions? So it did actually, even though this seems pretty long for my brain and how much I overthink, it actually really, kind of saved me a lot of time. So this is Paprika here. And so I'm able to pull in all my recipes. Of course, it's Paprika's currently going under some system maintenance, so I can't show you that. But this is how I pull in the recipes from Pinterest, and it takes all the ads away. So this is an example of a recipe I pulled from Pinterest. There are no ads here at all. It gives all the nutrition, everything you need, as far as ingredients and directions. And then what's neat is you can go to meals. So this is this was one of the things I wanted. I wanted to be able to plan my weekly meals. And you can see I've been doing this for a little while. That way then I could see what we've had. We don't have beef or chicken or shrimp too often, or that I spread them out. Then what you do is, like, I tend to go shopping, grocery shopping, for like 6 or 7 days. So I can pull in a week's worth here and then get a grocery list. So these are all the groceries that were for the particular one that I did last week, all the items that I needed. And you can go through and check off if you've got them or not. This will also show up on your, so that syncing that I wanted, it will sync between my devices so I can get this in the grocery store, as well as I can print it, which is great. And so that solves, those are the things that I really wanted. Syncing, multiple devices, Pinterest, which I couldn't show you with the browser right now. It can meal plan and keep track of it. The last thing that I wanted it to do was be able to bring in recipes. And this I had to later, I was using it for a while, and I decided I wanted to make Grandma's cookies. And this is Grandma's cookies recipe. And you can see I put it, so what I did is I took a picture, and you can see it's been spilled on and dripped on numerous times. But I wanted to get this into the digital world before that goes away. And I'll save copies in other areas as well. But I wanted to get it in there, but I didn't know how to do it. So I just took a picture and went back to my thread with AI with picking this. And I asked, can you turn this into a recipe that I can upload into Paprika? And so basically it cleaned it up for me just from the photo. It took everything that I needed, all the instructions. And I think I double checked just to make sure that everything's correct, especially with a family recipe. And I think it missed a half teaspoon of water. But that, again, that was a very handwritten, kind of like, it's hard to read even from the piece of paper, so I was actually surprised. So then I needed to know, how do I get it into the system? So basically then it put it in a format that I can copy it and then paste it into Paprika. So that's what I did, is I copied it and pasted it. And then if we go back to Grandma's, or if we go back to recipes, I can pull up, well, right here, I already started doing it. Grandma's oatmeal chocolate chip cookies. And it's all there. And so now I use this like all the time. And I got to tell you, AI has helped. I am not real tech savvy. I've been learning technology very late in life. But I want to do it, and I can do it. And sometimes when you get stuck, like in the instance of being able to pull this recipe in, or any software, whatever you are, I a lot of times will just snap a picture on my computer screen, I'll just with my phone, snap it, pop it in, and then I'll be like, help, what do I do? Where to go? What do I click? And I'm 9 times out of 10, AI will get it and get it pretty quickly. Now software changes all the time. So sometimes you have to talk a few things through, like I use Canva and a lot of other software programs where they just change the way things are, and we do figure it out. But sometimes it's not as quick as others, and my guess is that will just eventually quickly improve. So anyway, this is a very good prime example, and I have a lot more other software things, programs that I'm going to show probably in the future of how it's made it I've been either capable to help me find it, help me be able to use it, tell me what I need to be able to use it, help me work out what works and what doesn't work with it. And then And again, some of this is a little time consuming, but a lot of this is stuff I would have never ever done if I can't have like a little assistant telling me like, try this, click this, do that. And it's actually, that's one big benefit that I have had with AI. So why don't you give it a try? This is stuff that doesn't cost any money and is not going to hurt one way or another, whether you try it or not, or see if it works or doesn't for you. So I hope this was beneficial to you. If you liked it and want to hear more of either on some future software issues and or I've got a lot more interesting and fun ones coming up, either click to save